Last Guardian, but I didn't have to put my hands on a controller to see that that is not my game.
Yeah.
Like it looked awesome, and the depth. Like they do this thing with depth that makes it like when Trico jumps from one platform to you at the camera, it like
Yeah.
you see depth. But
And we're back.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like, the one thing that I haven't played it yet. I'm going to play this game and beat it. I've been waiting a long time for it. I like the team that makes it.
Go rent it.
I've been thinking about that. I might even get a copy for Christmas. I don't know yet. I'm kind of waiting. That's been the theme of
A
tonight.
lady in waiting.
Lady in waiting. I've said this too. Like, you see Last Guardian, what they've done with it. You know, granted they had a metric ton of problems the past 10 years trying to develop this thing. I really feel like if they were to start working on a game today, and 3-4 years from now, their next project that comes out, whether it be some 8 to 10 hour game again, or this big 50-hour game, I think it's going to be really good. Because, like, there's no possible way that, you know, they spent 10 years developing this game just to make the same mistakes again. Like, I feel like with the technology we have now in games, and, like, if Sony just gives them time, which clearly they will,
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, their next game's going to be really good.
Well, I want to say the only person who's left is the lead guy.
Okay.
The entire team Eco has moved on and started another studio.
Yeah.
So there's a team there that's obviously willing to finish a project, willing to work on. So who knows? I really think that like they should patch in a different controls, like
Or just at least the
or
option
give you
to.
the option to map the
Yeah.
controls.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
And that's the thing, you know, when I had conversations with y'all about Shadow, like, you're complaining about controls. Well, at the time, like I was telling T-Bird, like, we had a lot of games that played bad,
yeah, oh yeah,
like clunky. Like, even just looking at, like, Max Payne,
yeah.
it was kind of clunky.
I'm playing it now. I mean, occasionally
It's
I
still a
play
great
it.
game. The story's
Yeah.
still great, and
Its
it's
sound design is awesome.
oh yeah.
It was so ahead of its time.
It's totally Rockstar, but like
You're right, it controls like balls sometimes.
Controls really bad, because we're so prone to like the smoothness of like using your right joystick to turn and stuff. When that game, like you're literally turning the whole screen with just the left joystick. It's like it's really weird. So I could get that. You know, add a triangle jump button and like inverted controls. You're asking for a disaster. But the cool thing about that game though, is it's 8 hours long and the story is just so. It's just something about it, you know. Like it's hard to explain. You know, like there's two types of stories in games. There's like that story that's like got a lot of hidden meaning about a guy on his journey to rescue his loved one, whether it be his sister or
Rescue his bride.
yeah, there you go.
In his kingdom.
Whether he's rescuing
for the
his,
kingdom.
he's trying to bring his lady friend back to life. We don't know if it's his sister or his lover, what. But he's in this
Their
big
lovers.
this big open world fighting these giant monsters and defeating the odds. And his only friend in the game is his horse. You know, like, which spoiler,
My trusty steed.
his horse dies at the end, right before the last boss.
Oh, that
And it's-
hurts
and it's-
me.
and it's really sad. That really happens.
I thought the horse lived.
No, he dies. Argo dies.
He
thought
died.
His name's
thought he-
Argo. That's how
I
much I,
thought
like
the
that game.
horse lives after the thing happens to him.
We still have to do our Shadow playthrough on
No.
the show.
No,
So that's going to happen.
no.
So,
I'll play. I'll do it. I will sit here and play that game.
yep.
Hope you guys have 8 hours to kill because I'll play through that entire game.
We'll stream for 8
But yeah, it's one of the things where like you overlook all the little things that might irritate you to experience it. And like I was saying earlier about Journey, you know, like it's just one of the things you got to experience. To me, it was a great game, especially when it first dropped. That's how I felt about the game. But so I can get where you're coming from, or like the community, or someone, you know, friends of yours that play a certain game. They're like, you got to try this game, and you get into it, and you're like, just not doing it for me, you know.
Yep. It happens.
And it
Happens to all of us.
sucks, especially when you're like someone like me that I can appreciate games like Shadow, and then, like I told Josh about it because Josh is like this. He's a youngster, you know, when it comes to games,
Yeah.
and
He's just a boy.
I mean, he's played games for the majority of his life, but he's missed out on a lot of these games that we always talk about. So I'm telling him, like, dude, you got PlayStation, play Shadow of the Colossus. It was so good. And he played it and it just wasn't clicking for him. Well, it's because it's a little aged, It'd be kind of like if your grandpa came to you and was like, you need to read Moby Dick. You're like, I don't know, Grandpa. I'm reading through the Uncanny X-Men. That's really got its hooks in me. I don't know if I'm going to read Moby Dick. So
My dude.
you and your dick jokes.
That's all I got. All right. Least anticipated games of 2017. This is topic number 4. And Zelda's off the table.
It's off the table. It's in my arms.
Okay. We know you're looking forward to it. He's secretly looking forward to it.
He is.
And I'm not opposed to it. I'm open to it. So we're not going to make any Zelda jokes here.
Yeah.
Okay? Legitimately, what kind of trash garbage is coming out next year that we ain't interested in? Tanner, you're up.
I actually looked at the list earlier, and that list is too much. There's too many games I don't really care
There's
for.
so many effing games coming out. It's crazy.
It's hard to like all the games I'm personally excited for, or I've heard buzz about. I hate to say it, but maybe Resident Evil. I'm just not that crazy about it yet. I still haven't played the updated demo.
Yeah.
Jonas Pledge is in the chat. What's up, Will? How you doing, man?
Well, Resident Evil doesn't really strike me as a Tanner game.
No,
Now that it's first person, probably more now than ever.
But you don't like Howard games.
Howard games.
Howard games, yeah. The games where
Howard?
you play as Howard, yeah.
I died.
Like Howard the Duck, the video game. That
He
was a good one.
died.
That was a good one. Now,
he's
you've
not a-
expressed your dislike for horror games before. Being a pansy and all. But, horror games are good. So you're not going to play Resident Evil 7 at all? Like, that's not...
Oh, we're playing it on the show. Like, that's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, we will stream it. Tanner will play it.
So.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's play with no
I'm
sound.
legit taking the day off of work. So
You're going to have your special edition steelbook and your dollhouse.
yeah, oh yeah,
$150 dollhouse.
$180 dollhouse. It's $180 that special edition.
Special editions keep going up.
This is see,
It's almost like they keep rising the prices until somebody just says, "Okay,
enough's enough.
enough."
The
Well,
cap
see,
is here.
Here's the problem. Most I ever spent on special edition before was $89. Okay, using the Order 1886 with the statue and everything. That was the most expensive one I'd ever bought.
The most expensive one is $400. It was
well-
Dark Souls 3.
And Borderlands 2.
Oh yeah, no, that's 5. I think that's 5.
That's Claptrap. And then from there was Metal Gear Solid 129.
Yeah.
129,
That you got for
119.
like $40.
I got it for $30. But
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. What I got it for and what it was going for. That was way more expensive. I'm like, geez. And then,
For a hand.
yeah, for a good hand.
You can never pay enough for a good hand.
And then I pre-ordered Horizon Zero Dawn, that special edition. That one's $119 with the statue. I'm like, geez, these things are getting expensive. Then Resident Evil comes out. Well, originally they only announced the game, and I kept asking and I kept researching, I kept reading, and then they started finally months after the fact, because I pre-ordered the game, but months after the fact they started releasing that, like, okay, there's a steelbook version with a vinyl in this territory. There's a steelbook version with a box with a VHS this territory, and then finally they said, oh, by the way, for the North American version, for $180, here's the mansion replica with the VHS tape, the mannequin finger from the demo, it's a 16 gig USB stick.
That's really cool.
Yeah, the steelbook, even the styrofoam that the thing's packed in has the Resident Evil logo on it. It comes with one of
You
those
get
little.
custom made styrofoam now.
Yes, yes. I
Nothing,
mean, it's like-
nothing in life makes sense.
I know, and then here's the thing: as a Resident Evil fangirl like myself,
Can you get custom made bubble wrap?
maybe next life. So
Like, as you see Daryl in the corner with like some Resident Evil bubble wrap.
It's
Resident
Evil.
it says Jill sandwich.
Stars.
Yeah. So, anyways,
7 minutes.
she goes 7 minutes. So I'm excited about that. Definitely doesn't strike me as a Tanner game. I'm not as excited as I would be for a normal Resident Evil. This one's still got me kind of whatever. My least anticipated game for next year, like the one that I'm like, but probably just not excited about at all, would be was it Shinra Kagura, the Peach Splash?
Oh, peach volleyball splash thing.
Oh, like a volleyball version of that game.
They were making an anime for it, I think.
It's
Those games are getting out of hand, and like eventually, like
No nonsense.
when is the E ESRB going to really step in and be like, okay, no, you can't post. this.
okay. Shinra Kagura Peach Beach Splash, and it's. I saw the trailer the other day. It's whack.
Yeah, that's kind of the Dead or Alive volleyball game that just recently came out, where like you can.
The one that got banned from the U.S. or didn't release from the U.S.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of the-
like you can
because
take
of
pictures of
the bleeding heart SJWs.
Well,
What would you
in
put
their
it that way?
defense, it was kind of rough, man.
I mean,
Like,
it could be
you
worse.
could take pictures of them and touch them, and they're like, "No, don't
okay.
touch me." I'm like,
To be real, like that was just a joke. Scalebound. Like we keep seeing a lot of
Is that,
Scalebound.
I don't think that's coming out next year.
It still says it's coming out next year. Still
That's
slated for-
Wikipedia though. Because I checked Game Informer's site. They have a list up.
Uh-huh.
They only have it up till April.
No, that's right. It got pushed indefinitely.
Yeah,
The game was
because
janky,
Platinum's got
broken.
too many freaking games going
Yeah,
on.
they got them good games coming. That Nier Automata, Automatopoeia.
Yes.
onomatopoeia, yeah.
That looks good.
Onomatopoeia.
But yeah, like I'm not looking forward to that. And then Crackdown.
Crackdown.
Like I like the first Crackdown. Couldn't stand the second Crackdown. And then
It's gonna be Crackdown. That's the thing.
the problem is this whole use the power of the cloud, and now they all of a sudden they changing the hardware. Like I have an Xbox One. I've owned multiple Xbox Ones now, and like I was looking at the list of games they have coming out next year. You have Cuphead, which got pushed back.
Game looks neat, but it's
They're
it's an
they're
indie.
rebuilding the thing.
Yeah, because
to
it was
actually
just
have
boss
levels.
fights, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, you can't ship it with just boss fights. You got to actually have a
Well,
real
no, I
campaign."
mean they weren't saying, "Hey, this is going to be a full game." It's like a game with levels and everything. It's going to be a boss rush, and everyone's like, "No."
You got to have real platforms, real platforming.
It's like,
Meanwhile,
okay.
back
Yeah.
in Shadow with Claws.
So you got that. You got Scalebound, which got pushed indefinitely, and Crackdown.
Everyone says that
Sucks.
game doesn't look good.
Well, everybody says it runs like balls. So, and I don't know. 'Cause
Well, and that's also because, like I said, Platinum's got their hands in too many games at once.
they do.
But that's my thing, though. You know, like, and I hate to be this way because I want to have a positive outlook on all video games, right? Like even
Sunshine and Rainbows.
even with PC gaming, like there's a lot of perks to PC gaming.
No, there's not. All you do is get a bunch of crappy games for cheap.
Crappy games with good mods.
Crappy games, good mods, and lots of problems. Because Tanner
Lots of-
sits here and
Yeah.
shows me.
Lots of
I
crashes.
still can't run Skyrim Remastered, even though I can run Fallout 4,
That's
which
nice.
is more of a graphical hitter than the other one.
Well, my point is, like, you know, I've had my PlayStation 4 since launch. I've never had problems with it. Still works.
Launch PS4. Don't even make no noise.
Still works great.
His
Mine
computer's louder
makes a little
than
bit of noise.
Yeah, because I'm using CPU a lot.
You know, I'm excited for Nintendo Switch. I think I like what Nintendo's doing, like the handheld market and stuff, and they're stepping out, being innovative and stuff. But like, Xbox comes out and they're like, we're gonna have this really powerful console, which I think still gonna think it's gonna be expensive when it
It's
launches.
expensive as balls.
But not only that, but what are you gonna play on it? You know, and I've asked people, like,
Yeah.
just not trying to be.
Because
Just
what they have
genuinely
slated
asking.
right now, they had a really good year last year, a really good year the year before that. This coming year, you have Sea of Thieves, Cuphead, Scalebound.
Yeah, I'm not interested in.
You're going to get another Horizon, or Forza, excuse me, not Horizon.
I hope not.
This
I
sounds
hope not.
Forza 7.
You have Gears 4, but that game has already been out. It's not
and it
like
underperformed.
you look at, we just had PSX, right? And like you look at the lineup of games coming out for PlayStation, it's
Crackdown.
outrageous.
I said already.
how
Yeah.
good the lineup is, right? With granted, a lot of them are going to come out next year.
Yeah.
You know, like we probably won't see. I know we won't see God of
Well,
War.
we've got
We won't see
stuff-
Last of Us, but
I mean, we've got stuff slated for PlayStation for the next full year.
yeah,
and then some.
just Xbox doesn't. You know, like they have like
They got to say something.
They
soon.
had a bunch of games. They all came out, and I just got to make more. Kind of like
Yeah.
how PlayStation was doing.
yeah. I mean that's a good point too. It just I don't know, man. Like next year,
Yeah.
PlayStation is
Ooh,
just going to build even more momentum. And
I forgot. Metal Gear Survive comes out next year.
Is that next year?
Yeah, Metal Gear
Oh,
plus
boy.
Left
I have a
4 Dead.
love-hate relationship with that game. That game actually looks really fun
I mean, you know,
because it's the same. It's the Fox engine.
yeah.
And Metal Gear Solid 5, I will continue to say this: it's the Metal Gear game with the best gameplay, with the worst story.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find, I'm just looking through the list. And, so Scalebound, Sea of Thieves.
For me, Tanner might castrate me, but
State of Decay 2. Forgot about that. That one,
Yeah, that's
I'll
another one.
definitely buy that one.
for me, the least anticipated game for me is probably Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, I'm not
And
excited about
that's
that.
simply because I never got into the Mass Effects. I want to, but that's my thing. Like it's the least anticipated for me because I'm not a big, Mass Effect guy. Like maybe if it was like Elder Scrolls, I'd be down totally. But Mass Effect was always one of those games where I played a couple hours with the first one and I thought it was neat, but I could never really get into it enough to finish it.
Yeah.
I never played the second or third one, which I hear is fantastic.
I
Minus maybe the ending of the
I
third
own
one.
them physical
First
and
one,
digital. And never
first
finished.
one can be difficult to get through because it's more of a RPG than it is a third-person
Boring
shooter.
AF.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Sorry.
And 2 and 3 are good third-person shooters, a little less RPG.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm into like the dry sci-fi kind of stuff. Like, I liked like the even the old Star Treks. Like, as old and corny as they were, like, they were still good. And then someone like the Ridley Scott work, like I like that kind of dry sci-fi stuff. But the first one just didn't click for me. But this new one, I mean, it's cool that it's we have a new Mass Effect on the rise, but I kind of agree with a lot of people where they're saying
Trophy.
that this is
This
like
wow.
their answer to ruining the ending of the third one. So,
It's a
but
clean slate.
yeah, but the trailer I saw, the game looks neat.
Neat.
I just don't know if it's gonna be one I'll play.
We'll see, bro. We'll see.
Especially when I get my hands on Horizon and Resident
Yeah.
Evil. Which
Yeah.
Resident Evil, I gotta say, man, that game looks good.
It looks good.
In watching the recent gameplay footage, and I know that it's hard for you to come to terms with a first-person Resident Evil game,
Yeah.
which I'm really hoping for some sort of really cool twist to the ending.
Oh my god.
One of those PT kind of deals.
Yeah.
Spoiler if you haven't played PT and you don't have it downloaded, you're probably never gonna play it.
That's right.
um,
It's Norman Reedus.
yeah, it's Reedus the fetus, but you're first person and it zooms out, and lo and behold, it's a new
Yeah.
Silent Hill game, and you're Norman Reedus, which rest in peace. We're not
Rest in
getting that
fetus.
now, obviously. But the recent gameplay footage I saw for Resident Evil was really neat because it reminded me a lot of Outlast and Resident Evil 4.
Yeah. It's
Hey,
Has a
that's
very
another
Resident
game.
Evil 4 vibe to it.
Isn't Outlast 2 coming out next year?
yeah. Let's just come out. It's got a lot going for it. I'm cautiously optimistic. I am more fixated on the perspective than anything, which sucks because seeing it in first person, knowing in my heart that I do not want, under any circumstance, a first person Resident Evil. Like just 100%, do not want it.
Frosty?
But I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna buy the specialist of all the special editions. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna beat it. I don't know. We'll see.
Then play the game.
And I
Yeah,
got a
trophy.
trophy.
What's
I'm
like
popping
the
the
30th
F.
trophy we've
That's a
got?
lot
in
of
this game.
trophies.
Like playing
fun.
this game, I was like,
I know,
there's
right?
one thing I'm certain of: we're not going to get a lot of trophies tonight, and we've
Yeah.
got a ton of trophies in
Yeah.
this game.
So, anyways, I'm gonna get it, but I just don't know, man. But there's so many things that I should love: the setting, the characters. You know what I'm saying? That the hella horror they're doing, but I can't think past the perspective. It's killing me. And I don't know how this ties into the universe. Like I'm 20 years in this universe. They ain't said the first thing about a Rebecca Chambers, a Chris Redfield, a Leon, a Ada, a Claire, a Barry.
Well, you'll
You're
find
this
out.
new guy named Ethan looking for his wife named Mia.
Yeah.
Watch.
And
You're going to find Mia, and Wesker's going to be there.
Well, you had the picture that you found in the demo of the,
It has
the
the
Stars
yeah.
helicopter, which I thought was kind of cool.
the umbrella.
See, this is how it ties in.
Right, but
Yeah.
that's and I get they put that in the demo, so I'm sure that's
more of
just
like
the
a nod
first
to
of-
fans, to get them hooked. But
Let's just hope. I mean, my thing is this: it probably doesn't have to. It could be like Final Fantasy, and just could be completely unrelated. Same universe, different game.
yeah,
Which I don't necessarily know that's how Final Fantasy works,
I don't
but
think it works that way.
well, let's just say it could be a Marvel cinematic or a Marvel universe. It could be a What's something else that's all in the same universe but has nothing to do with each other? What's another game?
Mass Effect. They actually like the new Mass Effect and stuff.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Well,
This one, I think the Andromeda is taking.
it's in the galaxy next to it, and they
It's-
sent the Andromeda team and the Andromeda Initiative before 2 or 3. Either way,
I
it
think it
doesn't
was
matter.
before. It was like.
Yeah. I
in
would say
between-
I
in
would say
between
Older
those.
Scrolls, but that's not true because they just take place hundreds of years apart.
Star Wars. That's perfect. Star Wars is a universe, and there's all these different books and comics and things that are canon that happen all over the universe.
Easy now.
Okay, this could be that Resident Evil. Resident Evil, I've always referred to it as my Star Wars, as my Twilight. This could be
Team Edward.
canon to the universe, and not necessarily cross the streams with the other characters.
Could be, yeah.
But that's not what I want.
Yeah.
As a stubborn, diehard Resident Evil fan that has loved every pile of crap they've put in a box and sold me,
Yeah.
unabashedly praised their poop, like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
So I will just see. We'll
Capcom's
see.
in a weird place right now, just across the board. It's almost like they're in like this apologetic state where they release a game and they are trying so hard to appease to the fans.
Yep.
Where it's like, you guys didn't like 6. It wasn't horror oriented, so we're gonna make a game and overcompensate for it being a horror game.
Yep.
And then they come out with Street Fighter, and they try really hard to like make it appease to like the die-hard Street Fighter fans, but
Yeah.
they missed the mark on a lot of points in the game, like with the arcade mode. I don't know what they're thinking with that.
Yeah.
And I was watching some interviews from PSX when they were interviewing like Capcom reps. Like these are guys that work for Capcom. They do the Capcom Fighters Twitch streams when they have tournaments and stuff. And these guys are behind a microphone telling us, "Look, we're gonna be honest. The release of Street Fighter V was doo doo." One guy literally used the term doo doo. He was like, "This is the worst release of a fighting game in history." It's a Street Fighter game, Like this game should have sold. This game should have at least sold 2 million units, and it sold half that. So they're constantly having to update the game and make it better, and then you have like mechanics in the game that were in 4 that were taken out in 5, and fans are like, by doing this, you've inadvertently kind of ruined the gameplay mechanics of the game. So they're having to like update it, which is why we're getting Season 2. We're not just getting new characters, we're getting buffs and nerfs and stuff
Yeah.
that like the game should have had. And then they had to release the versus CPU feature way after the game's release, and it just
Yeah.
didn't make any sense. So they're doing it with that. Dead Rising is another one. Like people complained about the timer in Dead Rising. They're like, how are you going to give us an open world where you're going around killing zombies and exploring the map?
And you're under a
But we're
time-
limited.
But that's why I haven't ever finished
Hey,
one of them.
and that's
Yeah.
why the new one doesn't have it.
Yeah, the new one
Yeah,
doesn't
so
have that,
Capcom's kind of in a weird state right now, but I like the fact that they are paying attention to the fans, and they're
Obviously.
still Capcom, and they're still going to do Mega Man X in the new Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yep.
Like fans are blown away. Like I was watching reaction videos of when it was announced, and Maximilian Dude, he's a
Yeah.
Twitch streamer I watch. When they announced Marvel, like that's like his game. That's his fighting game. Like this Joker was freaking out, and he's like Mega Man X. Like, they know he's alive.
Yep. Well, like, dude, even Josh, like Walking Idea, he freaked when he saw that. He's like,
Yeah.
dude, Mega Man.
Yeah.
And then them putting Marvel vs. Capcom 3 back out on the
Oh
PSN
my gosh.
before the game comes out physical
Yes.
in March, because there was a license issue and it got pulled from PSN. So they're definitely listening. They're definitely paying attention, and I'm glad for that, because there was a couple years there where Capcom was in the pooper. They put out Resident Evil 6,
Or
which
just
was
non-existent.
yeah, they put out Resident Evil 6, which fans and critics alike just not what they wanted. I enjoyed it, but it's not my favorite Resident Evil by any stretch.
Yeah.
Operation Raccoon City was a bit of a stinker. It sold well, but they freaking they gave you half the game, and they charged you almost the same amount for the DLC, and that was the other half of the game. The release was so much bullcrap. Lost Planet 3, even though I bought it and own it and haven't played it yet, from fans and critics alike say it's a stinker.
Yeah.
The Devil May Cry reboot, I didn't like it, and I love Devil May Cry. Of course
Well,
they
that was kind of a slap in the face to fans too, especially that scene where he. A lot of fans talk about this.
He
People-
has the hair.
The hair. People
Yeah.
didn't like the look of the new Dante. And so there's a scene in the game where this white wig falls on his head, and he's looking in a mirror, and he's like, "Not in a million years." Fans were like, "Well, you can suck it. Like this is the Dante we know and love,
Yeah.
And so
And I get trying to go more modern and whatever with it, but it just didn't work, you know. And then so then they released Umbrella Corps, which from the day it was announced. I mean, like I get why you did it. You already had the assets. They used the old engine,
Right.
you know. Like you literally, and they put it out for next to nothing. Like I bought it I bought the deluxe edition. You know, played it for a little while. It's not what I want. It's a multiplayer only game that as soon as the handful that learned the game, and now you go in there if you can find a lobby. It's full level 150 billions, and they slaughter you as soon as you come in the game. Like I can't. The game's unplatinumable unless I put together a team of
Yeah.
boosters. And it's like I play the game for a little while, but somebody who doesn't like that style of game, playing one that was thrown together, just you know, it was the 20th anniversary of Resident Evil. Let's give you a little playground, a little shooter. It's super fast. It's super fun. I thought it was super fun, anyways, but like not something that I'm gonna go spend a ton of my life with. But like it was a stream of decisions they made that were not so hot. On the flip side, like all the things that you had just mentioned are good. Oh yeah, also they've forgotten about Mega Man. Period.
Right.
But all the things you said, the Street Fighter V might have been a crappy launch, but I really like the idea of the platform.
Well, not to mention, like,
Instead of
it's
putting out-
huge in the tournament scene now. Like, there are people,
Yeah.
and I've said this, like, there are people out there going out there buying fight sticks. People we didn't even know. Like, shout out to Troy from Trophy Whores. Like, he went out when Street Fighter V came out. He went out and bought a fight stick. He's just like, I want to learn how to play with a fight stick. Evo this year, the biggest fighting game tournament in probably the world, really, in my opinion. It's one of the most biggest promoted ones. They host every year. With the attendance and just the players signed up to compete was doubled from last year. And last year they broke the record for the number of attendance. So and that's just a Street Fighter. Like 5,000
Yeah.
people signed up to play to compete in Street Fighter. And so there's still it's kind of like one of those things where it's like this game didn't sell well, but the people that did buy this game
Or they're in.
are in it. And
I
that's
loved
what
it. I picked it up when it came out, and I played it for a little while. And I'm not a fighter. I'm terrible at fighting games.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy Marvel vs. Capcom. I buy every one of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy the new one. But I'm gonna buy the physical version. I almost broke and bought the digital. I was like, oh my god, I need to get in there now. But I'm gonna buy the physical version
Yeah, me too.
because I want that case. That's my favorite steelbook.
Yeah.
But they're doing good. I like the platform idea. I like adding the seasons of characters. I like adding the nerfs and buffs so you don't have to buy a whole nother edition of the game, you know? Like when you guys were talking about the other day on your show, and Nate said, I hate the way they're doing it, but I also hate having to buy another version of the game. You know, it's kind of like
It's kind of the same thing.
they're going to make their money. They're going to exploit it. They're not just going to give you a fighting game with a full roster and then just do the free updates like they probably should.
Yeah, I just hope that eventually they'll do kind of what they did with in 4, where they went from Super to Ultra, and they gave you like when Super launched, they gave every character in the game a second critical art. So with like Ryu, instead of just doing the Cinco Hadouken, you could do his uppercut. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen like a Marvel.
Yeah. I own
So,
4
yeah.
Ultra. I had the Super Ultra Turbo Mega Alpha.
EX, what's up?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had that one.
So yeah, like adding stuff like that is really what's going to get fans hooked. You know, adding arcade mode, like we need an arcade mode, definitely. So
So yeah, they're doing some good stuff, and I really want to see them. There's supposed to be another Resident Evil game announced by the end of Q1 or Q2 of next year. So Resident Evil 7's got to come and go,
yeah,
and then they're gonna Resident Evil 2 remake is still happening. There's still another one. I don't know what it is.
that's another thing,
It's
man.
got to be Revelations 3, I would imagine. Or Outbreak. There's a lot of rumors that they're going to bring back the Outbreak series.
That'd be cool. That'd be really
'Cause
neat.
it-
Especially with games like
perfect now.
like The Last of Us multiplayer
Yeah.
doing so well. People like dig that survival type
Yeah.
multiplayer. Charkity in our chat says, I'm buying a PS4 next week specifically for this and Kingdom Hearts 3 whenever it comes out.
Dude.
And the Final Fantasy 7 remake, of course.
More power to you, bro.
And he followed
Ninja.
us. Appreciate the follow, buddy. Thanks for watching.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening.
So that's awesome.
You should also buy a PS4 simply for the fact that there's going to be a lot of good games coming out for it. And they just sold 50 million units, and there's a reason why this is
Not
the Sonic
50
Hobby.
million and one.
50 million
And
Yeah.
Yes, I see. He
'Cause-
also said he'd like to see another Outbreak. We're in a good season for that.
and also there's what was it? The 1.5 and 2.5 remixes of Kingdom Hearts are coming in March.
Yep, that's right. Which I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah, those
So,
are good games, man.
Yeah.
Even though
And they're
already got
not.
'em.
They are like the action, RP. So it's not like turn based. I
Yeah.
think you'd really like it.
Well,
Your children, I think, would
I think
love.
that's
I think
something
Noah
Noah and I would
dig
really
that
dig
so
into.
much, man.
So, and that's something we're at that age now where like I can buy games specifically to play with my kids, and like Paxton is the biggest Spider-Man fan in the world. That kid is not even 2 years old yet, and he freaking everything Spider-Man. So when I play Spider-Man, he's just like Spider-Man. That TV over there has Spider-Man going 24/7 anymore. That one right there, we're playing games. Like he sits there in his little recliner with his soon-to-be Spider-Man blanket because I got him one for Christmas.
You getting the Spider-Man undies?
I'm gonna get. I mean, Tanner's got his old.
Yeah.
Spidey
Hey, you
Whiteys.
still got your man? You can
Get
hand
your
out?
Spidey Whiteys.
Yeah, let me give them to your son. Sure.
all, all
All
old
stained.
and dusty and stained.
I got skid marks on them still.
Hey, man, that's just character.
That's right.
Yeah.
You with mileage, slamming on the brakes.
Yeah.
So speaking
Tanner's
of slamming
I've
on the
had
brakes,
these. I don't want to give them to you, Noah or Paxton. Or,
hey titsy. So I had to go
That's a
segue,
face
but
of
we
content right
talked
there.
through it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna pretend we didn't. Speaking of slamming on the brakes,
Scared.
it's time to land this plane. Gee, Frosty, where can they find you?
You find me on Twitter at PG Frosty.
Oh, you changed it.
I did, yeah. I was never happy with any of my Twitter handles until now, like because that's my. I mean, it's my fighter ID. I'm Street Fighter, and it's been kind of like a little alias I've been going by recently. It's the name I use. It's actually the name I used at the tournament I had a while back.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of my thing now, and it's just easier than spelling out my PSN name.
Yeah.
But you can find me on Twitter at PG Frosty. You can find me on PSN at MGS_Daniel25 and PG_Frosty on Street Fighter 5. If you guys want to play,
Street Fighter.
if you guys think you're bad enough.
Well, I am Resident Daryl across all platforms. I keep it real. I keep it simple.
Yeah, I'm really jealous of that. I would change my PSN name. Shoe.
Yeah, that's
I'm looking at you,
never
Shoe.
gonna happen. I made the smart decisions early. Just keep it Resident Daryl. So
I think you just got lucky.
yeah, there was no other
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of people in the world named Daryl either,
that like Resident Evil.
as much as you. Yeah.
Speaking of Resident Evil,
Somewhere out there's a resident Daryl that spells his name with a Y.
what's crazy if you start typing it in on PSN profiles, there's other ones that are close to it. Yep. What about you, T-Bird? Where can I find you?
Find me everywhere at T-Bird803.
Keeping it real, keeping it simple.
Easy.
So.
Awesome.
Well, this is a Proven Gamer podcast. We like to do the dang thing on provengamer.com. Check it out. Frosty does the news, the press releases.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we both do reviews.
Which I want to give a quick shout out to Jerry Young. He's been holding down his press releases, doing a great job, and I want to, I really appreciate his work and what he does for the site. It's been crazy. And he's going to get crazier these next few weeks with the holidays and all.
But tough, man.
But I just want to thank him. Having a full time job, and he's actually traveling like out of state to visit family. So I think he's traveling from Arizona to California.
Woo!
Ooh.
So, but he's it's not that far, but
Man,
he's still traveling to
Yeah.
it. So
Is he driving or flying?
Probably driving.
Then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, it's going to look like this drive right here.
yeah. That's
With more
oh,
desert.
look. Sit down.
That's funny. So yeah, it's a Proven Gamer thing. We like to keep it real. Hopefully next year I'll be doing more reviews again. I did a good. I went to pee. It sounds like you're wrapping it up. Sorry, Chucky D. We've been doing this for about 2.5 hours, and if you would like to go back and watch or listen to the beginning of the show,
Listen to it because it'd be easier. if
you
my
can
chunks
go
are
on
missing.
iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Podbean, which is everybody's obviously their favorite. TuneIn or iHeartRadio. You can check out Remember the Loot, spells the way it sounds, or you can go to officialprovengamer.com because we're going to rip this video and post it on YouTube, or actually all 3 parts of this video because the stream kept going down. Come Monday morning, or you can actually watch it in the archives right here on Twitch. Don't tell nobody, but we'll let you sit there and watch it.
If you follow us on iTunes, be sure you leave a review.
Yes, we need them reviews because the reviews keep us climbing the ratings board.
The totem pole that is Everyday Podcasting Life.
That's right. That's right. Also, Chucky D or anybody else who's listening, if you're going to do any more shopping, especially with that Christmas right around the corner. I mean, we are 9 days out. Go to provengamer.com, check on the Amazon links, click it, go in there, and freaking buy your stuff. It doesn't cost you anything. We get a little bit of monies off of it. I think Proven Gamer uses it to, let's see, last week I said they buy drugs. This week, they're buying land out in
Strippers.
Arizona. They're probably going to build some sort of facility, a Proven Gamer facility, to smuggle the drugs from Mexico into
Yeah.
the country. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a drug thing.
Eventually, they're going to build a camp where they make all their editors, and
Yeah.
writers work for free.
Finger paint. Finger paint. Tricky's telling him. So anyways.
can't have your pudding until you've had your meat. Speaking of which, who wants some meat? Anybody? No, sir.
I heard you like sloppy Joe. I made them extra sloppy.
Tricky, you're
Lady
scaring
is
us.
scaring us.
So yeah, and then the last thing, as always, remember Extra Life. Extra Life this year, if we get to $2,000 raised, we're around $1,300 now. On the Proven Gamer fund for Extra Life, Tricky will get a tramp stamp.
That's the thing.
That's a legit thing. He is not even fighting it. He's like, dude, if we get $2,000, I'm gonna get a freaking tramp stamp. So, and Chucky, don't worry about that Mobot bull crap. Friggin' some idiot who streams once in a blue moon said no caps. So
Yeah, we need to change that, man. Sorry about that.
yeah, disregard that warning. Just wait until we change it for the cap for the
Whoops.
caps.
I didn't even know that was a thing, so I
I
apologize.
think that Tricky put that on there. Maybe it wasn't Tricky. I don't know.
Probably Santos.
Tricky or something. One of them did it. I want to say I heard about it when it happened too. So, but
Well.
anyways, yeah, disregard that. Just chill in the caps for a little bit. So, like I said, that's the end of the show for tonight. We will be back right before Christmas. We'll record all of our good, fun stuff right before Christmas, and then yeah, we're going. I mean, I don't think we're missing anything because the way the holidays fall this year. So,
Yeah. So we're not going to see the fans before Christmas. We're not.
yeah, we are. I mean, if you're available next Friday,
Okay.
yeah, because Christmas Eve's on Saturday. Yeah, it felt weird this time. See, last year we had to do everything early.
Yeah, I'm just thrown off.
So yeah. All right, then Chucky D and all those listening and watching, we'll be back. We're gonna stream again next Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's the goal, to continue to stream on Proven Gamers page, and as long as the stream will allow us, it tends to drop every now and again.
Yeah, I gotta mess with that.
So,
I'll figure it out.
with that being said, holla, 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 holla.
Happy Hanukkah.